Danny Lewis, Virginia Preps, here with the recently named Clover Hill head football coach, Matt Hutchings. Coach, how are you doing?
Fantastic. I'm excited. We got a new chapter in my life, and I'm ready to get after it.
This is a bit of a homecoming for you. You were a player at Clover Hill, is that correct?
Correct. 2002, graduated from Clover Hill High School, the old Clover Hill High School.
So this stadium, this field, other than being here when you were at Midlothian, is new to you.
Correct. Yeah, this is all brand new. I mean, still about 8-9 years old, but new building, new facilities, new everything. So one of the newest high school in the county as well. So I'm excited to be a part of it.
And you're diving head first. I noticed you got the Clover Hill shirt on already.
Yeah, just got this yesterday. The last couple days have been amazing, just meeting some of the people and getting my feet grounded, trying to get a staff together. It's been a whirlwind, but again, the excitement is there and the energy's there. So excited where we can be able to take it.
Well, speaking on that excitement, what has been the reception, not just of the team here at Clover Hill, who I don't know if you've had a chance to meet with yet, but those who you coached at Midlothian who are getting ready to graduate or maybe have one more year left?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind since Thursday when I got named. I've gotten so many text messages and phone calls. Former coaches that were at Clover Hill have reached out to me. Former players that I used to coach at Midlothian have reached out to me. Guys I haven't talked to in 8-9 years have reached out to me and told me congratulations. And it really shows just kind of the relationships that you build through coaching. I was a little worried about what some of the guys who are currently at Midlo who I coached 2 years ago would say, but they came up to me and hugged me the very first period on Friday morning. So really awesome to see those types of things. I have not been able to meet the team yet, just because it's been such a quick little turnaround. Hoping to meet them this week and then finally get a schedule together, have a parent meeting, and really start getting to our off-season workouts.
Yeah, so this is really in the infancy for you. You haven't really had much time to think or plan yet.
No, just born, baby. Just born. We're trying to hit the ground running.
Well, you've had 2 years off. Talk about those 2 years out of football. What's it been like to look in from the outside?
Well, a lot of retrospect, a lot of like, hey, let's consolidate a lot of things that happened, especially in coaching, and every single coach knows this. It's always the next thing. It's always the next thing. Your season ends, and you're on to workouts, and then you're on to 7-on-7, and then you're on to summertime, and then you're into the camp, and then you're into the season, and then you're in the play. And so it is a never-ending carousel, and you never really get that time to reflect. That was really huge my first year, was just take a breath, because I've been doing this for 15 years now at a college level, at the high school level, and I've never, besides COVID, and even that was, I think, even vamped up because we had all the rules and changes and all those. So it was never really a time to take a breath and relax and really enjoy what you've been doing. You're always like, hey, that was good, let's do it better next time. So never really had that time to reflect on a lot of things that we did at Midlothian and some of the great things. So that was kind of the first year. And then after that first year, it started itching a little bit, started saying, hey, I really miss coaching. I reached out to a couple guys, hey, can I help you with anything in your season? Maybe do a little film breakdown, anything I can be able to reach out with. I'm here to help. And then it just kind of grew, and I talked with my family. I said, hey, what do you think about me getting back into it? And the only reason I'm here right now is because my wife and my family said, yeah, that I think that it's time. I think that it'll be good for you, not to kick you out of the house, but my wife is ready for me to come back. She's going to be a part of building here at Clover Hill High School. So that was a huge part of it, was getting the acceptance from my family. And then once this opened up, I was like, hey, this is a real opportunity to not only make some change, but be able to come back home, because I have so much pride in Clover Hill, the relationships I had. They made me the person I am today. Some of the coaches that were coaching me back then, I'm still able to talk to and be able to reach out to. So that made a huge difference in my life. And hopefully we can do that with some of the young men here at Clover Hill.
So you weren't unplugged from football totally if you were itching after 1 year.
It's hard to be fully unplugged. It really is, especially when you've been doing something for 15, well, if you count playing, 25 years. 25 of my years of my life have been involved with football. So taking a year off, was a breath, and then it was like, yeah, kind of miss being out there. The energy, I don't think there's very many things that compare to, the energy on a Friday night, fourth quarter comeback, whatever it might be. Those are things that you just, there's not a whole lot of compare. You can't find that on a golf course or pickleball court or any of those. So
no, not at all. I going back to Midlothian, the scene at any school, but even Midlothian, it's a great atmosphere for football. Obviously, you're going to try to build something like that here at Clover Hill.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, it was a group effort. I had some really good people around me, and that's what it takes to be able to build some of the things that we did over at the Midlothian High School. We had a great athletic director, principal, coach and staff, the community. I think you need all those things to be able to build that type of culture that you want to see on a Friday night. And again, Friday nights are a show, right? We work all those weeks and workouts and summertime, all those things to put on a show for the community. So I think it's going to start. We got to start pulling people in one direction, start getting a culture going in one direction, but really make people care about what's going on here. And I think that that's the biggest piece that we need to do right now is, hey, care about each other, care about our teammates, care about Clover Hill, care about the pride that we have as a Clover Hill football player, the pride that I had when I played here, the pride that we can be able to build upon here at Clover Hill. So I think that's kind of where we want to start to be able to get those piece by piece excitement going for some of these games here in the fall.
Speaking of pride, how hard will it be this year and in the years to come to see that Midlothian Trojan team on the other side of the field now, and you're on the Clover Hill side?
Yeah, I mean, I love Midlothian. I mean, that was a great experience. I never expected to be a head coach, and it kind of just worked itself out. God takes you wherever you're supposed to go. And it was a great experience. I have no hard feelings towards them at all. It was great to be able to build that program from where we were. I'm going to have love for them up until, those Thursday and Friday nights, that game week. So no animosity whatsoever. But it's been great to see some of those guys that I coached 2 years ago, have successful. They had a tremendous year this year with those guys. And so it's been great watching the program continue on and grow from some of the foundational things that we try to build there at Midlothian.
And it's only been 2 years, but the Dominion District has changed a lot in a short amount of time. I was thinking about it the other night after I saw your announcement. I'm like, well, the only 3 coaches that were here when Hutchings was at Midlothian is Cosby, James River, and Monacan. Coaching changes everywhere else. Mm-hmm. It's a different district. What's that like as you think about building ahead to the 2025 season, and you got new coaches, programs in different places that they were when you were last on the field?
Yeah, it's been really interesting to see. I'm kind of a senior member, I guess, of the coaching community, which is just strange to think about because I just turned 40. But it's, we can only focus on ourselves. We can't worry about, hey, they got a new coach, what they're going to do. And especially with today's, how kids are able to move very quickly between schools and how things can change, dripping down from the college level. Things can change very, very fast, and of course, they have where the Dominion District's kind of flipped on its head a little bit. But it also proves that at any given week, you got to be on your best A game. There's no more powder puffs. There's no more easy. There's no more, hey, these are the dominant, these are the non-dominant. It just proves that, hey, somebody can move to another school, and then all of a sudden they just move up in the rankings. So what we want to try to do here, again, we want to build foundation. I really love this opportunity because I feel like it's a blank slate. I've told people that, I don't know what we have here. I have no idea, who could be the starting quarterback, what's the wide receiver. I have no idea what the players are going to be capable of. So again, we haven't even thought about, we're going to be a power offense, or we're going to be a spread offense, or we want to try to mold that to what we have here at Clover Hill High School. So I think that's going to be the most important thing, and just kind of block out all the other noise. I know there's going to be a lot of excitement, but I can only bring 2 things, and that's new standards and energy. And hopefully we can do those things to hopefully make people proud about what we're doing at Clover Hill.
Do you see any similarities in what you had to do at Midlothian and what you're about to do at Clover Hill? Midlothian wasn't a very successful team program when you became head coach. You kind of changed that a little bit. You got them to be a perennial playoff team. You got them their first playoff win. Here at Clover Hill, this is a program that's been down since 2019. They haven't won, I think, since the 90s or 80s in the playoffs. So besides those little things, do you see any similarities in the two, in the job ahead for you?
I tell kids all the time in the classroom, comparison is the theft of joy. So I don't want to compare anything. This is a fresh new start. This is a fresh new team. We're going to have different problems here than we ever had at any other place. We're going to have some better things. I've already looked at some of the facilities, and I'm like, we never even had close to that, like air conditioning in the field house. Like, what is that? I don't know what that is. So again, it's going to be so many different things here as we try to build. I don't want to sit back, well, compare this to how we did it here, compare this. Like I said earlier, I can bring in new standards, I can bring in new energy, we can, face those problems when we get to them, but I don't want to sit here and say, well, this was this and this was that there. I can learn from those experiences that I've had and hopefully use that to problem solve some of the things that we might run into here. But I never want to sit here and say, well, this is how we did it at Midlothian, so it has to work here. This is a completely new, different opportunity, and I want to make sure that it's clear that we're going to build from the ground up Clover Hill way.
And you spoke on the retrospect, being out 2 years and kind of taking a breath and looking back and looking forward. How has 2 years out maybe made you a better coach coming into this new venture?
Just like you said, reflection. We don't have as coaches many times to be able to reflect. They say that, the off season, and we go to coaches clinics and we go to these things and you might read a book, but you never really have that time to reflect because it's always to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So having those 2 years off was incredible for me to be able to reflect and say, what are some things that if I were to get back into it would be different? And I think that delegating was one of the things that I didn't do a great job of, especially towards the end, because COVID exacerbated so many things. And I thought in my head, if I take this on myself, then I'll let my coaches coach. I don't want them to worry about, wiping down footballs and wearing masks and all the crazy things that we did back then. I'll take that on. And then over the time, I just never really passed it back to anybody. And that was one of the biggest things that I kind of reflected on was I need to do a better job of, hey, trusting the people to do a good job other than coaching. I love, my coaching staff. They did a great job. I'm going to bring some of them back here to Clover Hill. But being able to delegate and say, hey, I want you to take this. You're going to do a great job with it. Here's what I can get you to do. Go run with it. Instead of putting all that on myself. And I think that kind of wore me down over the period of time. And it took about 1.5 years to kind of realize, hey, that's something that I need to be able to become better at. And if the opportunity arises, hopefully we can do a better job with that.
We touched on this, the reaching out of players and everything. Your life's been a little bit of a whirlwind. You said you just got the keys to the field house yesterday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
What are the next few days like for you as you take the reins of this program?
Well, we're just trying to figure out where can we get the momentum going. First and foremost, I want to be able to meet the players. I met one player here in the last 3 days. Fantastic freshman that I saw in the weight room while we were getting a tour yesterday. I want to be able to meet the players. I want to get into their face and say, hey, this is what I believe in. This is my vision. This is where we want to see Clover Hill High School. We need to get you on board. And if you don't want to be on board, then that's perfectly fine. But we want to get the guys on the energy bus. I think that I need to get, I've got a lot of guys who have already reached out to me and make sure that the staff is where I want it to be. We've got some guys who are already in the building, some guys who, maybe coach at some other schools, try to figure out, what's the best fit. I don't want to just start grabbing coaches and say, hey, let's get everybody together. Because again, it's got to be a good family, a good tight knit family here to be able to reach the kids. I'm looking for great people, first of all. I don't care how well you can coach. I care about how much you can care about kids. And then, try to get some of that energy back. And I think energy comes from not only the coaches staff, but your surroundings. I want to be able to do some things in the locker room. I want to do some things outside in the community. So there's just a lot of different pockets. It's not just coaching. It really doesn't come down to coaching. That's really one of the last things that we do. It's more about, hey, what can we do developmental? How can we get some energy, some focus around the program? And then what are some things that we can do that the kids are really going to enjoy and start to say, hey, this is a ball we got rolling. I talked to another guy yesterday. I said, this snowball, right? We want to get this snowball. Once it starts rolling, that's going to start picking up more snow, until it starts to an avalanche, right? We don't want that snowball to melt, even with everything here in the last couple of weeks of Virginia weather. But if we can just keep that snowball, start packing, it's going to turn into a wave that hopefully we can do some really great things here at Clover Hill and make some people proud.
And it's the biggest cliche there is in sports journalism, I would say. What's goal number one for your first season? What's a reasonable expectation for you?
I haven't even thought that far, honestly. Everybody's like, well, you want a winning record, you want to make the playoffs, you want to do that. I haven't even seen the team yet. I want to make sure I get our guys in the right direction. I want to raise our standards in everything that we do, and I want to bring an energy to this program that everybody's going to be like, they're doing something over there. And if we can do that, the rest of the things will fall into place. Success is all about the details that you do and the choices that you make every single day. We don't control winning. And it's hard for some people to understand that, especially kids. we don't control winning. Everybody wants to win. We don't control winning. We control what we do every single day, and hopefully that leads to a better outcome and a better opportunity when we get started here in August.
Well, can't wait to see you get started, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Danny.